As a teacher, I've been going around the state when I announced my candidacy for state superintendent. I ask them about teacher evaluations. They don't like the letter grades. They feel they're in a profession. They don't like A, B, C, D, and F. Teachers also want to evaluate their principals and administration. They want a two-way process. But as a special ed teacher, I'm not sure I like the growth part, student growth, because I never know how my students are going to perform. So I do think that there are many issues still that need to be considered in our teacher evaluation. Regarding quality teachers, we need more quality teachers.
What made you decide to want to become superintendent of education for the state of South Carolina?
You know, when I got there, in my first school, a lot of the teachers and I were really talking. You know, they were so frustrated. You know, and I could feel their frustrations.
Evolution versus creationism. What's appropriate for the classroom? What's not appropriate?
Again, I'm going to go back to what our science standards are.
What are our science standards?
Our science standards that's what we teach in our schools now.
Oh, I know that. I just wonder if specifically you knew what they were, since you want to be superintendent of education.
Well, I do, but I'm not going to go any further than that right now.
It took me 6 months to get one computer for my children to use. Also, I believe that as a teacher, I need more than $250 for a materials fee a year. That's what I got. We need more accountability at the local school level and at the State Department of Education so we can get more monies back down to the classroom.
How many people work for the administration, the superintendent of education? How many actually work in the offices and everything? Do you have any idea?
I actually don't. You know, I was a teacher there. You know, I called often about the licenses, the certification,
Sure.
You know. It's a huge building. Of course, I worked in a bureaucracy in Washington, too, so, you know.
I worked in Washington, D.C., and I saw that encroaching of their powers, and I always fought that. As state superintendent, I want our parents involved with writing of our standards, as well as teachers, principals, community leaders, and I will fight for our South Carolina state standards.
But I'm really going to stand by our health standards right now.
What does that mean?
Well, we have certain health standards that our schools teach, and so that's what I'm going to do right now.
With all due respect, Ms. Atwater, you're avoiding me. That's not what I'm asking.
But you're pressing me.
Of course I'm pressing you. You're running for superintendent of education. I wouldn't be doing my job. I wouldn't be doing my job.
I'm coming from the classroom, and I'm saying health standards.
I'm running because I want to make education a priority and of interest in South Carolina.
So I really had no intentions of running, but several people said, you know, we need a classroom teacher. You know what's going on. And I thought, well, you know, I'm not sure of that.
What you have just heard is an example of a person running for public office on name recognition only who is clueless.